power of being an independent creator. Sometimes you have to pave your own road as an artist, but often it seems like the only way forward. And Steve Stout is moving beyond labels with United Masters. Stick around, we have a lot to talk about. How you doing, and welcome to Music Industry City's Monday Kickoff, where we offer up important tips for a successful career and get you motivated for the week ahead. I'm Peter Schwing. Joining me today is my fellow co-hosts, Aisha Damo and the Duke. If there's something you'd like to chime in about, join us in the chat or leave a comment below. And stick around. Sometimes we like to reappear, and if you have a conversation going, let us know. Just hit us up in the chat. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off by checking with Aisha and the Duke. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Happy
Hello.
Happy Easter Monday. How was your
Yeah,
weekend?
Yep. Yeah.
super
Resurrection.
good.
We in here.
Resurrection, yes. I've had an artist, he made a piece, it was a beautiful piece, and he called it Resurrection. And it was like, yeah, it's about breaking out the old, like that shell, like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly.
Yes.
I saw somebody else posted, they said, how did we turn Jesus rising from the grave into bunnies pooping out eggs? It's quite the switch.
I was actually thinking about something like, how did this all, like, we have Christmas, we have Thanksgiving, everything's a marketing campaign. It's like, when exactly, like, what year do we say, hey, Easter is about, colored eggs and little marshmallow bunnies?
Well, the eggs
Rabbits
make
don't even
sense.
lay eggs.
The eggs make sense because, that's like this like sign of new life. It's like the circle of life, regeneration, resurrection thing. And it comes from like, that's like linked in the pagan stuff, or even like the Bacchus stuff with like cutting the vine so that it grows, right? But the bunny thing, I don't know. I think it's just love of spring, right? Or bunny ears look cute on little kids. I mean, where did it come from? I don't know. Blowing up marshmallow peeps in the microwave? I don't know.
Somebody Google it. Somebody Google that. So we got lots going on. Dave, give us a little preview of what you're going to be talking about today.
We talk about record labels and Blockbuster Video and their similarities.
I'm looking forward to hearing this. And Aisha, I know we have a lot to talk about. So let's start off with you, and we're going to get right over there. So, hey.
Hey.
Different background today.
Yes, coming to you from New Jersey, from my parents' house and the room I grew up in. So it's very, very intense. I hope the internet service holds out. Fingers crossed.
Well, I hope so too. And one of the things we were talking about paving your own way as an artist. And as an artist, paving your own way sometimes means you have to go get the water, the dirt, the gravel, the blacktop, like all the components, put it into the mixer yourself. Then you have to level out the walkway. You got to then place it down. You got to scrape it. You got to frame it. You got to do that. And that's all while on top of actually just writing music.
Yeah, you're like the whole construction team. It's crazy. It's an awful lot to take in. And, it's a double-edged sword, this ability to guide our own careers.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So, why don't you take it away? I know you have a lot to say on this.
All righty. So, sure, everyone is always out there celebrating how great it is and how many opportunities we have as artists to make our own way in this new internet world, and how many avenues there are to express ourselves and reach people. And so it should be easy now, right? Maybe not. But truthfully, there are a lot of avenues available, and there's a great opportunity to take command of your own direction as an artist and put out the work that you believe in. But as I think many of us know, actually having that turn into a following is kind of another story. And further, the process involves a whole lot of work that has nothing to do with being an artist. But like, hey, sometimes in all the like, feel good about this, it's great. We've got to just be honest and say, there's a lot about being a self-made artist that sucks. And here's an analogy I came upon last week. I spent a lot of time just sitting in front of a computer, pressing refresh, 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 trying to get an appointment in New York City for a vaccine. And nobody wants to sit in front of a screen and press refresh all day long. But we do want to get one of those coveted appointment slots. So, if we weren't the ones to sit there in front of the screen and press refresh, probably no one's going to do it for us. It's not a drudgery that anyone wants to do, but it kind of has to get done. And it occurred to me that this is a great analogy for the career of the self-made artist. In an effort to be seen and heard in the world that's largely online, here we are, with a ton of tasks that we're responsible for in the name of promotion and getting the word out, tasks that have nothing to do with being an artist and that are a little bit more analogous to sitting in front of a screen, pressing refresh, refresh, refresh. Nothing that we want to do, but we in fact help us and lead us to where we like to be. Did I freeze?
You froze just for a moment, but you're back.
I froze?
Yeah, but we can hear you. That was the good thing. I just wanted to change the screen and try to refresh it. So keep going. Keep going.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm unfrozen. I'm back to life. I've thawed out. It's spring. And so I was talking about this thing with a kind of business mentor for actors, Bonnie Gillespie, last week. And her angle of it was thinking of our investment of time like the investment of money when we're considering these types of tasks. And for me, I took that straight to the casino. Thinking of a trip to Vegas in which we have a certain amount of money that we're going to spend on the slots. And after that point, we're going to reassess and see if continued spending is worth it. Now, pretend that the slot machines are any given social media avenue and that money is actually time. And you're pretty much seeing what I'm saying here. You have some time to go all in on these social media apps or whatever avenue you're choosing. And it's your choice. And it's your decision to do it. And you've mapped out how much you're going to do with that, what your budget is of time. And you have control over this thing. There's an amount of time that you've decided that you're willing to spend. It's a conscious choice. And you're seeing if that avenue can work for you. Now, while you're at it, while you're there playing the slots, you might as well enjoy it, get into the casino environment where, you can't tell the time of day because that's nothing like being in front of a screen on the internet. But so anyhow, when that expenditure of time is up, when you're all done with your 6 months or a year or however long you decided you were going to try this app and assess it, see if the avenue worked, you need this recap moment to see if you've really got more chips now or if you're just there spinning your wheels. And because we do have some opportunities, and this ability to be artists of our own creation, but there's also this trade-off, right? And it's a required thing to discover and create the means of our success. So that can be a gamble sometimes, right? The power that we have as the DIY self-made artist is that we have both the freedom and responsibility of how we spend our time. And it's so valuable to us, our time. And that's the time that we need to get where we're going. So we should spend it wisely. The trial and error may not always be fun, but with it comes an ownership over our own self-creation and the control of how we create our work and our lives. So as I often remind myself, sometimes we have to embrace the trade-off. I remind myself of this like literally all the time. But let's do it consciously. Let's do it with awareness of our choices and remembering that the value of our lives is something well beyond the game of it all. So that's what I'm putting out there. I will hope you do this week. Just, see what the game is, know it's the game, but know that your life is your life and you got to budget it out. Come back, Peter. I can't hear you even.
I know. I when I kicked it over, it was like, oh, I got to go back to the other scene, and it automatically muted, and I had a cough, and then it was, all that stuff. So it's a Monday.
It's the drama of broadcasting from New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the internet's fault. I blame it on the internet. What is it we're supposed to do again this week? What am I supposed to do? All right, what
are you supposed to do?
Why is this kicking over here? Hold on a second. I need to figure out why this scene wants to go over there. There we go. Now we're side by side. I was pressing the button and I was like, why is this not doing anything? Oh, I know why. Something's really off with this. So we
It doesn't
triggered
like
something.
me.
We triggered something. We
I feel
triggered the
triggered. I
machine.
feel so triggered. Oh my God, I'm triggered.
See, again, it's cutting over. I don't know what's going on here. It's like it's possessed. Everything's possessed. All right, let's try this. I'm just going to bring up everybody here. So now it's all the three of us. This better work.
Yay.
I have no idea what that was all about. That was really, really weird. Um, I've never seen that before. So what are we supposed to do again this week? What am I supposed to do?
Just like think of your budgeting of time towards these apps or different avenues that you're using to try and promote your artist career. Think of the time as money. Just like if you were in the casino at the slots and you're going to choose an amount that you're going to spend and invest in it, but then you're going to reassess. You know, you
Right
have
on.
control over this.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to kick over to Dave. We're going to come back to this. We're going to go over to Dave. Hopefully, I see he's queued up over here. Hopefully, when I press the button, it works. Let's see what happens. But we're going to come back to this. Dave. Ta-da.
Here I am.
What's up? That was interesting. Like all the scenes just started going through. Like so, everybody just got to see all our different little scenes. So, Dave, this has been really interesting. So Steve Stout, with United Masters, and his whole thing as a distribution company, different servers. Basically, it's on your phone. It's an app in a sense, and digital distribution, and also can link up with brands, create brand partnerships, and it's about like the artist having more instead of bypassing the label and just be direct artist distributor, get it out there. And it's really interesting what you sent to me, so I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's definitely fascinating. I mean, Steve Stout's OG in the game, so anytime an OG makes a move like that, you really gotta look at it and go like, why is he doing that? I feel like when Jimmy Iovine, and Jimmy Iovine was the one, he was the guy, and then all of a sudden he stopped selling music and he just switched over to selling headphones because he saw something. And I don't know if you guys saw the Blockbuster. I'm gonna compare it to the Blockbuster documentary that just came out. It's on Netflix, really rad. But the reason why Blockbuster stopped existing is because people didn't need the services anymore. And I think that's the same thing with the record labels at this point. I would still work with a record label, but it would be on different terms because the record label services. Now, Steve Stout, what he's doing is basically he's saying, I'm going to hook you up with distribution, but you're going to do it from an app, just like you would, Mercari or Depop or OfferUp. If you want to sell something, it's right on the app, and anybody can do that. So it doesn't take a genius. You don't have to go to music business school to download an app. Everybody knows how to do it. My 2-year-old knows how to do it. You know what I mean? So if all the things that labels used to do that were very singular to them are available to everyone, then they will become Blockbuster. And I think that it's just a matter of time. I think we got to live through the Napster era, and you can kind of think to yourself, what's the last DVD, CD that you bought yourself? The last CD that I bought was Pearl Jam. I'm gonna say it was like 2005, and it was from the Virgin Megastore in Times Square. Now CDs don't really exist anymore, and the Virgin Megastore surely doesn't exist. So that's it, man. It took about 15, 16 years from that point, the last CD. So it's gonna be the same thing with the labels, because what ultimately do labels do? They provide services, and the services are marketing. You don't need that. You have social media, you can market yourself. Distribution, you don't need that. Like Steve is saying, he's like, here's an app, you can do it. TuneCore already existed, and there's tons of different ones. 1RPM, Soul Spasms, which are friends that I use. So you don't need distribution, you don't need marketing, you don't need a producer because it's all on your laptop. So it's not like you're like, oh man, how am I gonna make this happen? You're gonna figure out how to do it. Little kids are using Fruity Loop. I started using Fruity Loops 20 years ago, and now it's not even Fruity Loops, it's FL Studio. So that's how much that has changed from like something little kids could use to like it's an official that little kids can use it, and that's the songs that you hear on the radio. So the only thing that the labels can do is maybe get you on Jimmy Fallon. But the thing is that once you're popping on TikTok or whatever it is that you're Jimmy Fallon's gonna come to you. Jimmy Fallon doesn't need the label to go like, yo, Jimmy, this is what's popping. Everybody knows what's popping. Hide your kids, hide your wives, and you're gonna I forgot the name of the chick. You're about to lose your job. I mean, that lady was like, that song should have came out immediately, and that would have been on Jimmy Fallon. So you don't need a label for that. So I think the services that labels provided are no longer hard to find. And if that's the case, then I don't need to walk through the aisles of Blockbuster. Now, there's still one Blockbuster, right? And they're doing really well. If you saw the documentary, they're doing really well. And I'm sure there'll still be one label. Right now, there's like 3 major ones. I'm sure there'll be one label at some point, and I'm sure they'll be doing good. But it's still going to be nostalgia, because at that point, everything that you ever needed from a label, it's all in your hands. And that's the thing, is when you see the major dudes, Jimmy Iovine, Steve Stout, these OG dudes that grew up in the label system, when they leave the label system, the label doesn't have any workers anymore. Just like Blockbuster, you can still have the real estate of Blockbuster, but there's nobody working there because the services are no longer needed. And that's what's going to happen to labels. It's ultimately something's going to happen. And then from there, you'll have the trickle down domino effect of the lawyers and, you know, the booking agents and just on and on. And I'm just going to connect one more thing before I go. When movies come out, after all this quarantine comes, ask yourself, are you dying to go to the movies, or did you take that stimulus check and buy yourself a 70-inch television? And are you perfectly happy with your 70-inch television? Because all the movies that are coming out now are coming out straight to HBO Max, you know, they're coming out to Disney Plus. I don't think that we're dying to spend $20 on a ticket and $15 on some popcorn to sit there with the family, drop $150 to watch a movie when we have a 70-inch that we just invested $400 in our crib. So that's going to change, and so are labels, and everything is going to just be pretty much right in your hands. And this is just another example of, you know, the major labels ultimately, you know, losing what they gave to the artist. And even that was still had its shakiness. If you can just think about all your friends that are artists that maybe had hit songs back in the days, and now they work at like car washes and things like this. So that's it. I'm going to just end it on that.
Catch me on the outside. Catch me outside. Look where she is.
Yeah,
now.
she got an OnlyFans. Think about that. She has an OnlyFans. You don't even need. It's like you can monetize. You don't need a label.
What $1 million in 6 hours she made.
Crazy.
So
Crazy.
she
Why
broke the
sign to the
previous
label?
record. So, you know, so many different avenues for revenue, and, you know, the TikTokers, it's, you know, people looking at saying it's like, you know, music as a standalone is, you know, the year over year, the value has increased, but slowly. I mean, we're not back at 1999 levels, but the thing is, it's like people are looking at us like TikTok stars, influencers, Twitch, YouTubers. It's like the younger generation is doing this, is utilizing music, or actually even creating their music, but also creating music for the soundtrack of their own content. So content becomes more than saying, I'm going to write, record, mix, master, market a song, distribute it, market a song, and then I'm going to pay somebody to shoot, direct, edit, produce a video, market that. Whereas you can be at home and saying, I got a phone, I got an iPhone, I can do this, I can go live, I can throw some music that I just made in Fruity Loops or FL Studio or GarageBand even. I made a little 15-second clip from taking some loops and like adding some other things to it. Boom, package that, throw some cool things on it, put it out there. I've now created everything: music, video, graphics, all that stuff from sitting in front of my laptop, and I'm 17 years old.
It's amazing. Amazing. You have it at your fingertips.
Let's bring Aisha back into this, tie it all together. You know, we were just talking, you were talking about like paving your own way. And the fact that paving your own way back in the day with the label meant one thing. Now paving your way is another thing. I was saying you can actually create multiple revenue streams, and maybe not looking at as focusing on saying, here's just, I got to get something up on Spotify, and then hopefully people will listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the difficulty of getting people to care and pay attention. And I think that's what the record labels used to do really well. And it's harder to do without them than, you know, I mean, for an artist, like some people really adapt well to this new, ocean of possibility, and some artists really don't. So it depends. And how adaptable are you? I mean, I think everything Dave is saying is true, but it's a lot. It's a lot on the artist. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Dave, any thoughts? I mean, I know you as a musician, as a creator, as an artist. I mean, everything that you're doing with like your videos, like, think about like how much time and effort is put into it, or is it? Do also artists get into that point of overthinking, where like it has to be the best? It has to be. I can't put it out there unless it's perfect.
No, yeah, I gave that up a long time ago. I switched over to progress over perfection, and I just stopped caring about perfect because it doesn't exist. It's only a perception. And I also don't give a shit about people's opinions. I don't even really care about my own opinion because I realized that the shit that I really felt, being in a band, I was like, no, but this is the song, man. They're gonna love this, and it never was the one that I thought it was gonna be. I mean, one time it was, but it was always some other joint that I never thought it was going to be. So I said, you know what? I don't even know. I don't even know what's good anymore. I just like it in the moment and I'm good to like release it so I can move on to the next thing. One other point I will make too, kind of what you were saying, Peter, about like how things have changed is that back in the days, you would have encyclopedia salesmen, right? You have people that literally come to your house and
Mm.
sell you encyclopedias because that was information and people needed the information. But now you have the internet. So there's no more encyclopedia salesmen, just like there will no longer be blockbusters and record labels. And, like you said, man, you can just garage band it and all that stuff. And I think that it's all at your fingertips. You just got to be willing to just let go of any perception that you have of this is the way that it's supposed to be. You should just make the things that you want to make because it makes you happy to create and then release it and leave it at that. Don't worry about blowing up or being famous or like money or any of that type of stuff. Just create because that's what you want to do because you had a vision in your head. All things start in the head first, then they become words, and then become reality. Just create the visions that you have, enjoy that, and then all the goodness will come from that. But if you think about, I'm going to get signed, I'm going to make money off this, and you're not going to. Trust that you won't. Everything that you think is not going to be that way. So you got to understand that, then enjoy the creative part, and then enjoy the releasing part. Whether people like it or not, you already moved on to the next thing. That's how you become powerful. That's how you learn how to make music videos. That's how you learn how to become a YouTuber, a TikToker, an Instagrammer, influencer, all of that because you moved on to the next thing. You didn't get stuck on, oh my God, this EQ ain't right. Fuck the EQ, man. Let's go on to the video. Fuck the video. Let's go outside. Let's play basketball. You know what I mean? Let's think about other things.
Love it. And Ayesha, it's like kind of part of a little bit like, what you were talking about is, paving your own way, but it's also being able to, take a break and also just go and get something done and stop looking at it as perfect. And it's like, get it out there, move on, keep going. Because paving your way, if you get stuck with decision paralysis, analysis paralysis, the thought of just like, it has to be perfect. It's like, that's going to hold you back.
Absolutely. I mean, you just can't be too precious about this stuff because you have to, put out so much stuff. So you really can't put it on yourself to be precious about it. Just put it out and do it. That's the only way. Pull the thing on the slots and like let it roll.
Sometimes you win. More often than not, you're going to not win.
What do you lose? But
But
I love what Dave said though about, it's never the song you think it is. It's never the video you think it is that like people, really like. That's so true. It so rarely is the one you think it's going to be. So,
and Dave, you hear the stories about the label back in the day. It's like the label's like, no, we want this song to be the single. This is going to be the single. And the artist fought and fought and stood their ground. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like you
That
see
was in
they
the
talk
movie.
about in the movie. Like, no, you need to make a radio friendly edit. And they're like, no, we are not doing it. Boom. One of the biggest songs, most recognizable songs in the world. But that was because
Right. The
the
label didn't even
artist
want to
stood.
put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think also on the same time though, you also got to just accept that whatever does hit, whether the label picked it out or you picked it out or your grandma said that she liked it, you got to roll with that. Cuz I always think about Janie Lane and I love the album Cherry Pie, but that song destroyed that dude and he ultimately drank himself to death, but that was a hit and we can control our perception and our thoughts. That's power.
right on. So all right. Any final thoughts then? As I just had another little glitch because that was my fault. My bad on that one. That last one, totally my bad. I hit the wrong button. Um, any final thoughts, Aisha?
I think our electricity is so powerful that we're just, surging the system, and that's what's going on here. So keep putting power out there. Boom.
Dave.
Yeah, I just say, energy fades, so you gotta catch it while the iron's hot, whatever that is for you.
Right on. I love it. Love it. All right. And that is going to be it for today. And thanks again to Aisha and the Duke. And we are going to see you next time. Have a great day.